So it's currently around 10 a.m. I'm about to go see Hokum. I'm drinking some coffee right here. Yes, this is gas station coffee from Rocket or whatever. I know it's crazy, but look, I gotta get this energy up. I just got off a shoot. I'm about to feel good, go see this movie. Now, you know, I don't really do the whole movie review thing. I don't do 4 out of 5. I don't do that. I'm not a critic. I like to talk about the psychology of movies, why this movie is important, thought-provoking topics around movies. So let's get into it. Hokum, scary movie. It looks really good. And with that being said, it's about 10 in the morning, but I think it's one of the best times. So I'll be back. I usually do a snack of the day right about now, but I'm running kind of late. So I might have to just subject myself to a $20 pretzel or something in the movies. That's when they catch you slipping. Anyway, I'll be back to talk about the movie shortly. Fresh out the theater, definitely enjoyed it. It was a little bit of a slow burn, not in a bad way, but just more so because it was very silent. This guy's by himself in this hotel suite, walking around, being haunted by this witch. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I will say that silence, and this is in any movie, like A Quiet Place is one of them. Any movie where there's a lot of silence naturally feels like a slow burn. But the good news about this one is there are a lot of small details always happening, making you think. You're always thinking in this movie. You're never just sitting there like, oh my gosh, like get on moving. And the good news about how they wrote this movie is that you're not gonna have filler in terms of just small talk or characters just weighing down or unnecessary characters just slowing down the movie. It's not that type of party. There are a lot of props, items, different things happening that have like meaning to them, and it's gonna make you think. Now, why is this movie important to film culture today? The movie Hokum is important to film culture, in my opinion, because it is in the sweet spot between artsy and digestible entertainment that people can watch on a large scale. I'm not knocking anybody's art, but we do know that some films get so artsy that only like 10% of people are gonna really want to watch it, let alone watch it again, talk about it, digest it. Like I remember years ago, don't kill me if you're a fan of this movie, but I remember years ago I saw this movie, Mother, way too artsy for me, way too much going on, and I just felt really out the loop when the movie was done. This one is not like that. It actually has a really smooth, like a really deep meaning, I'll say, at the end of it. Is it the deepest thing in the world that you've ever seen? No. But I'm gonna say it's definitely a good time if you're a fan of, you could say horror, thriller, and just, I guess, dark, spirited kind of movies. I know that might trip some people out. It is really dark though. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you like it wasn't, you know, if you're kind of queasy when it comes to like dark movies, or if you're very on edge when it comes to like, you know, seeing witchcraft or seeing certain things on the screen, might not be the one for you, but it's definitely something that you might want to hear about, read about. I'm learning about the director. Actually, I just talked to someone who, it was this guy who sort of filmed, he was also by himself in there just chilling. And I asked him how he felt about it, and he said, man, my family's Irish, and I've been watching this director for a long time, and this one was really good. And he recommended one of the other films. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it started with an O or an A. Either way, he was breaking down how he interpreted it, and I was telling him how I interpreted it. I don't want to spoil it too much, but what I will say is, I think we need a lot of films that know how to hit that middle point of it's not too artsy, but it's not too mainstream. Because I feel like we have a lot of mainstream movies that are just money grabs. It's entertaining, but it has no replay value. It has no thought-provoking value. They just put them out to hurry up and collect them dollars, which I do think that nowadays we are starting to see a change, because we got movies like Weapons and good movies in that regard that are coming out that are actually worth watching. But nonetheless, there's always going to be these mainstream movies that come out to collect all the dollars. They don't care about replay value. They don't care about deep conversations. All they care about is the trailer, you coming to see it, you paying your money, and being done. And this is not one of those. We need more movies where people can still put the thought-provoking aspect into these horror films, you know? Remind people that horror is not just somebody getting sucked into the ceiling and you know, just jump scares. We need more directors who are gonna go out there and make you think about that movie you just saw without going too far behind the artsy thing and not going too mainstream. That's my main takeaway for why Hokum is important to the culture. And one thing I want to say about a lot of those art films that come out but don't have like a definitive meaning, the problem with those to me is it's kind of a cop out. When you make it so artsy that nobody understands what the hell they just saw, you also insulate yourself from the whole conversation of was it good? Was it trash? Who knows? You kind of play it safe by making it so artsy that you could just fall back and say, well, that's that was the whole point of this. It's open for interpretation. I know there are a lot of people who do like that, but most people, I don't know. For me personally, it's all about meeting the middle. Just like I made that video about Signs, you know? That was a thought-provoking alien thriller, but it didn't go too artsy, it didn't go too mainstream. So that's my main takeaway. Now, question, should you watch this movie by yourself, with friends, with your significant other, or with your family? This is one of those you could call it horror, I guess, films that I'm gonna say you could watch it with either. Why? Well, you could watch it with your family because it's not too gory. It actually doesn't rely on blood and jump scares. So if your family's into, like, you know, dark thrillers or dark horror, whatever, you could watch it with your family. You can watch it by yourself because it'll give you a lot of time to think about every detail. Watch it with your significant other if they don't talk too much because there's a good thrill in there. You know, it's always fun watching a thriller with your significant other. And watch it with your friends. I would say, yeah, you could definitely watch it with your friends, but maybe not too many. Maybe limited to like 3 or 4. If too many people start yapping or getting fidgety or uncomfortable, they're gonna ruin it for you because you don't need any distractions. With that being said, I want to know, what do you think of the movie Hokum? Was it good? Was it trash? Was it too artsy? Was it something that you consider a horror? Is it more like dark thriller? Drop a comment. Let's start a conversation because that's the point of these visuals I'm doing here. All of these videos are not movie reviews. I'm here to open up the conversation about movies. We got a million people who come out here and make these videos after the movie is like, oh, 4 out of 5, 9 out of 10, and that's good. We need that. It's been happening for decades. But I think we need more people to get on here and just open up the conversation. You know, it's like a book club through YouTube, but for movies. That being said, see you on the next one.